Something new, all because of you.
Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I got Lensley Gay in the house with me this morning. The African American Women's Summit is coming up. Unmute yourself, Lensley. Say hello.
Okay. Good morning. Hi, Babz.
How are you? How are you? What's going
It's such
on?
a pleasure to be here. This is one of my favorite topics, so I'm excited.
I'm glad to. Are we expecting more people to join us?
I don't think there are going to be people joining us that that will be able to share what's happening. I am the spokesperson.
Okay. All right. So the African American Women's Summit is celebrating 25 years. Am I correct in that?
Well, I'm 27 now, I think.
Oh my gosh.
We've been doing a calculation. We did find out in our history that we actually started in 1995 and under the direction of our Dr. Sheila Jewell, started that right in her own home with a few legendary women who wanted to do something different, and with organizations and clubs, sororities. And so it was birthed right there in 1995. So we have been around for a long time.
Wow. So everybody knows you, Lensley Gay. You're an educator, an education administrator. Are you still at the out there in West Rock at one of the little schools? What school are you at?
I think I'm one of the longest running people out there. I've been out there for a while. So when some of my families come back, they say, "Miss Gay, look at Miss Gay, you're still here." So I get my hugs and kisses, and it's just wonderful to have been out there as long as I have.
And what school are you at?
I'm at Brennan Rogers Magnet School, and I'm the Family Resource Center coordinator for youth, families, and community service for the Board of Education and the State Department of Education.
Okay. All right. So the summit for the last couple of years have been virtual, right? Y'all was online. And folks were showing up online to take it all in. But this year you're back in real time at the new Dixwell Q House.
At the new Dixwell Q House, and that is exciting. 197 Dixwell Avenue. It's beautiful in there.
I have not been in there yet, so this will be a real treat.
I know a little something on you, Babz. I can't believe this. Because we know you're in the know too. But I told Diane Brown that she has a beautiful new home, and the whole place is beautiful, but especially that library. I am in love with the library. If they close the doors one night and come back the next morning and find me still there, it's because it is just that type of place that you want to stay. So we are going to be hosting this event there for the first time, and that's wonderful for the family, for the families in that community, as well as Greater New Haven and the surrounding area. Mm-hmm. Because when we had to stop going virtual and change to virtual, that was very different for this organization, because we had to learn about technology and everything, and we had to get some assistance with that, and we really handled it. And I am so proud of everybody on our committee who did virtual for the last couple of years, but now we're going to be in person.
Oh, okay. I'm glad. All right, so tell me some of the things that we get to look forward to this year. I mean, I know in the past there's been all kinds of people presenting. I mean, there's always something on health. There's always some, whatever the topic of the day, whatever the prevailing topic of the day. The African American Women's Summit has seemed to sort of create a place where we could talk about it or go learn about it or see about it or whatever. So what's on the agenda this year?
Well, you're absolutely correct. This year, being in person, we have so many wonderful organizations that are
Well,
going
I
to
want to know, first of all, will there be some jewelry sold? Because
be.
I get my jewelry hookup when I come.
Well, looking at those earrings, I understand what you mean. Well, I'll tell you, yes, we will have a lot of vendors there. We like to cater to the community who are entrepreneurs, and so we will bring out various showcasing wonderful vendors like jewelry, hats, homemade items that were brought in from all of these young ladies and men too come out. We don't want people to think it's just a ladies thing. We have many vendors that are and supporters that are men too, which I'll talk about. But we do have a lot of vendors come in, and then we have the informational tables. And I hate to start calling out any names because I don't want to miss anybody. I want people to be surprised and wanted them to show up to come out and see what is going to be on the agenda for us for the whole day. But our information tables vary from having someone come out with the firefighters, and we'll be letting our youth and people know about the EMTs and what is offered there. We have Cornell Scott, who will be bringing their wellness truck, wellness van rather, and we'll be doing things right on the spot, and like getting your COVID shot and also providing information and resources. So there's a lot of information and resources that's going to be gathered and shared because that's one of the things that we are really known for. We want to bring out the NAACP. We have this behavior information, like also with Clifton Beers. And we, I guess I want to give you all of them away.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, that's exciting. So how many people do you expect to come? Because first of all, you're in the new Q house, so people will be excited. People who have not been in the Q house will be excited because this will be their first time. Like me, I've not been in the Q house yet, so I may try to run through there. And plus, I love all the vendors. Secondly, there's some good parking.
There's some good parking. There's some good parking around the area. But we also want to say that to that is we have a day that's planned starting at, the doors open at 9. Mm-hmm. And our theme this year is a wonderful theme beyond COVID. And now it's time for healing and rebounding and reinventing. So all of their workshops, all of our informational tables have basically been around that theme. So that's good. That's one thing. But when we talk about the umbrella things that we're bringing, we have a lot of people who stepped up and they're co-chairing different areas like our youth component, our office row, and where we have a panel discussion. I'm going to expound on each one of them in a little bit, but that's kind of like something that is our umbrella.
Oh, well, tell me about the panel discussion. I'm interested in that.
Oh, great. The panel discussion this year is going to be led by Reverend Odell
Montgomery Cooper.
Yes.
My soror. I know her quite well.
Oh, wonderful. And I am so happy to hear that because she is so phenomenal. She also is part of the Authors Row too because she has a book out. And so she is president of Interruptions, and she has put together a wonderful self-help book and journal that she'll be discussing. And then on that panel, it's talking about drama and trauma and how we can get our basic needs met. So we want to share because she has a group panel discussion with the president of, well, he's not the president, but he is the captain or chief of the Yale University Police Department, and his name is Darnell Higgins. So Darnell Higgins will be on our panel. We also have Reverend Brooks from Bishop, yeah, from, and he will be on our
Isn't he from Beulah Heights?
Beulah Heights. I'm going to call him a bishop, but he is the Reverend over at Beulah Heights, and he is just a phenomenal person as well, who's going to bring a lot of information to us about healing. And we need to have that at this time. Both of these people.
Oh, that's right. Because you know what, the theme. Let me talk about the theme for a minute, Lensley, because we went right into the conversation. But this year's theme is beyond COVID. Now is the time for healing, rebounding, and reinventing. So I would imagine the panel will reflect the theme.
They're going to reflect that theme. They're going to really let us know what is happening, how we can rebound, how we can heal from this. And Reverend Brooks is going to bring back his great information because he's a great orator himself. And we will discuss and answer questions during that time. So that will be expounded on. And I want to just say that when we talk about trauma, people get a little fearful of it. And they need to discuss it. And they need to know more about what can they do to help themselves or other people in the community that might be going through something. So we don't need to, as we used to say, put our heads in the sand. We need to lift our heads up and know that this is very much a part of what's going on now with our community, with COVID. We have to get beyond it. And just as our theme is saying, let's reinvent ourselves.
Yes. Yes. So do you find that many men come to the African American Women's Summit?
Well, yeah, I do, because as I just mentioned, some of these men that are on the panel discussion or coming out to be bring their information tables, they will also be able to invite their friends and what have you. But we will find out that there are men who want to gain information, resources, and services that we provide through this discussion. And I think that's important. That's one of the reasons why it was started sort of under the umbrella of all of these organizations. Now, let's see, we are really fortunate that we have a lot of churches, a lot of sororities, and community support. And with that, it brings a different flavor, because when the African Women's Summit started, they started to bring these groups together so that all of these groups can come together in one place. This is a labor of love. It takes at least 6 months to put this together, if not longer. So they bring these groups together, and each one of them bring their own support. Now, we also have the youth. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about the youth component. It's delicious. It's just not good. It's delicious as well. And that's another reason why we do have more men or young men coming out, because we do have some young men coming to the youth program. And that's led by our sister, Angela Wilson. Now that will bring on presenters like Richardson Training and Consultant LC with his positive mindset. We will have HR representative Cliff Brown, and he will be doing mark interviews. Okay.
So people can get in the habit or get a little practice in interviewing for employment.
Absolutely. And start young.
Or maybe you want to brush up on your interviewing skills and,
This is for our youth. And then we have Keith Oliver, as I said, he's going to be sharing information about EMT and how to get a certification in that. And that is very important for people who think, what do you want to do? What career do you want to go in? And we're going to lighten it up a little bit for the youth. We're going to have Mr. Wonderful. I think I'm going to have to sneak in around 12 o'clock for him. Mr. Wonderful. His name is Frank Brady, and he will be having active poetry discussions. So they will be able to hear him and discuss and have feedback. Lunch will be served for our youth. And then we have the wrap up will be our panel discussion. The City of New Haven Commission will be talking about different things that are going on in our community with the youth. So the City of New Haven Youth Department will be having a discussion between 1:30 and 2:30. And that will wrap up for the youth. Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's a good day. That's a really good day. All right. So are you feeding people this year? What you doing?
Well, one more. We have the Authors Row.
Oh, Authors Row. Yes, yes. You know, Lensley, there's a lot of people in this town that have a book.
You are absolutely correct. And you know, a lot of people had a book before COVID, but after COVID, we found a lot of people are home writing.
Yes.
Home writing.
Trying to not go crazy. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's a wonderful thing. When we had when we were online, we had people from all over, from as far as Georgia, coming on and talking about their books. But this time we're more local. We have people from Hartford. We have Gloria and Dr. Cooper is going to be helping with this also, as well as the panel. She is co-chair for the Authors Row. So Couture Bryant will be with us with her Zola experience.
Mm-hmm.
We have Carla Victoria Wallace, who's a children's book author. She actually does both. She writes for Christian books for both adults and children. Then Darnell McKenzie, he's also gone to China, and he has put together a book about his experience of something that he invented and how easy it is to invent something. And he has a step-by-step guide. So this book is going to be absolutely wonderful. It's called the Dream Kit System. Mm-hmm. And then we have Bridget Franklin, who is a children's author, and she is her theme is around gospel Christian books, Christian children books. Right. And as I said, Gloria Perry, who is a dentist by day and an author by night.
Okay. All right. Okay. So so is the Authors Row new? Because I don't recall. I mean, I remember seeing authors at the summit, yes, like as a vendor, but I've never seen a whole panel centered around
the authors. Yeah. Well, you're looking at yours truly. I wanted to give it a different twist. About 2015, I think I added the Authors Row because of exactly what you said. We had so many authors right here in our own community that we needed to showcase, especially African-American authors, because we need to know that we're literary and that we can write and read, and we want to make sure that others are engaging in writing and reading as well. So I started the Authors Row in 2015, and it caught on. And we have been having a part of the summit ever since, and I'm excited about that.
Oh, good. That's good. That's good. All right, now get to the important stuff. How y'all feeding people? What's the who's catering, or what's the meal? What's the happenings?
Well, that is important, I'm sure. And we are having a very good meal. We certainly did not want to disappoint anybody. When we were discussing it and talking about whether it's going to be a box lunch or it's going to be this lunch or that, some of us got outvoted and said, no, people know the summit as having a good meal.
Listen, that's why I brought it up.
So we are going to have we're going to have the soul food, healthy soul food lunch.
Oh, so what does that mean, Lensley? Because I don't know what that means.
Don't twist my arm. No, 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 no. No, we have to use and leave a little for surprise, but I guarantee it's going to be delicious. We're going to have a very good meal, healthy
Okay.
soul food.
Okay. So when you start planning this, is this how do y'all pay for the Women's Summit? Like how do you do you raise money? Do you take donations? Do you get a grant? Like what happens?
Good question. Good question. Because when we finish this one tomorrow, and we'll take a little break, and we'll be ready to start on the next one pretty soon. So anyone that's listening or it's going to come out, I want them to know how they can get involved. And what we do is our organizations they help by donating anywhere from $100 or so that they will be able to be involved with it. They will have a journal. They will be placed in that journal. They can put ads in the journal. So people are able to donate that way. We also have a minimum charge for our vendors, and they're able to pay for that fee. So there's several ways that people can support the African Women's Summit. And if we are able to do
Because
more,
I'm sure people would make a donation if they knew where and how to make a donation.
absolutely, absolutely. But we're under the umbrella of the National Council of Negro Women,
Oh,
and
okay.
um,
Okay.
and the New Haven section. And so often we have partnered with them, we collaborated with them over the years. So we are also very, we're joint, as they say, joint at the hip. So we will definitely have an opportunity as them under their umbrella to give people tax deductions and things of that nature. So we are looking for people to support us. And we love to talk about grant writing with anyone that has that knowledge. We want to expand and make sure that we are able to cover all of the costs. But we have been very fortunate that the things that we be able to have done, the community has met. Like I said, the churches, they are also very supportive of it and send members, because one of the things on the committee, we do have an opportunity for churches or organizations or sororities to bring at least 2 members to the table with their
Mhm.
donation.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, where do you see the future of the summit going? Like, what's the big dream for the summit, for the African American Women's Summit? What would you like to see into the future?
Well, it's kind of, I'm going to start off like this because in all these years, when I started with the summit in 1996. Mhm.
Wow.
Yes.
That's like a marriage, Lensley.
Believe me, Babs, when I actually started, I lived in Norwalk at the time, and I don't know how I found out about it, but as you know, I'm a community person, and I found out about a lot of things because you look up and you can see me anywhere, right? And but I was a vendor because I was one of the first African American people that had a storefront in the Norwalk area. I had my own nail and hat salon. So people don't know I was a hat millinary. I used to make hats.
That's right. That's how I know you. That
Mhm.
is how I know you. Yes.
I don't know where my hats have gone now. Long gone the hats. And also, I was one of the first nail technicians. I went to the city in New York to be trained to become a nail technician. I used to airbrush and put on these fabulous nails and things. And long as that's gone too. But so people don't know that I was an entrepreneur, as well as an educator in Norwalk. In fact, when I first opened my business, I stopped teaching in the classroom, and I thought, oh, I'm going to make $1 million as an entrepreneur. But I missed it. So in the back, I started becoming a tutor. I used to pick up young kids and I would tutor them after school. And I got more and more and more involved back into education. And then I moved to New Haven in 2003, and I became involved in education again. But when I said that to say that is that when I started, I was a vendor. And then when I got involved in the summit, I became, I organized the fashion shows, helped them to develop entertainment. We started off when the summit was, when I started in 96, it was at Gateway.
Yes.
You might remember that. It was a
Yes, on the Long Wharf on
That's
Sergeant
right.
Drive, right?
Right.
I
And
remember that.
even back in very early in the days, we had a 2-day affair. We would have something Friday night and with the workshop presenters. And then and many people would come out for that event and hear who was going to be presenting the next day. And then we started moving into different schools like career. We went on to West LeGrand for many years. And then we went over on Jewel Street, what is that, Beecher? And we were also held our summit a couple of years over at Amistad. So each one of those had a different flavor, a different theme, different people's co-chairs. And that is why I want to talk about our co-chairs who are so phenomenal this year. This year we have SC, one of our co-chairs this year. And I'll tell you, when you think about something, you always want to go out your head. But we have one of our co-chairs is Robin L. Wilson, Edie Rawls, and then we have
Robin Wilson is Judge Wilson.
Yes, yes.
She's my sorority sister. Yes.
One of your sorors. And it is so phenomenal to have these three tri-chairs because they have helped to bring a different flavor to the summit. We in the past have had 2 co-chairs, but this year was 3. And then the people who step up to work.
So I didn't hear the other 2. I got stuck on my soror, Judge Wilson. So who are the other 2?
Who are the other 2? And I'm telling you, that's funny because I'm not even getting my wonderful Betsy, and I'm Rosemary Best. That's why I'm singing Betsy. Sorry, Rosemary. Rosemary Best is one of the co-chairs. Edie Rawls and
Edie's still out there stomping in these African American women summit streets.
For fumbling your name there because a lot to say.
It's nice to know that Edie is still out there working hard.
Edie's been part of it for a while, but we have some new people like that stepped up. Linda Jackson, who's part of the informational tables, and also wonderful people that really help. So even our informational tables, all of this is a lot of work and putting it together. So there's 3 chairs with the informational table, myself, Linda Jackson, and Dr. Sheila Jewell, all put forth an effort to find wonderful people to come out. One of the things I wanted to just say what has stepped up is the Schubert Theater will be having a table at the informational table.
Oh, that's great. Well, they've got that dynamic new leader, Anthony McDonald, and then he's got an amazing support staff around him, Azaria Samuels and a couple of other folks who are really engaged in community. So it's good to know that they've reached out and are participating in this.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. New Haven Reads, the Connecticut Early Detection Prevention Program. And then we have the Links of New Haven. All of these people, and as I mentioned before, the NAACP, Mel Scott, and the Greater New Haven African American Historical Society, where we definitely don't want anyone to forget them either because they have so much information that they want to share.
Yes, I did the walk for them in October, the Lower Dixwell walk, and we ended just at the Q, just a little bit past the Q house, from walking from the St. Luke's all the way around to up down that street past the Catholic, the Black Catholic Church and Elm, and then up up almost to Varick, right? Well, we stopped at right in front of Varick.
Oh, okay.
So
I
there's
think
a lot of Black history
we
right
started
there.
about 8 o'clock or something like that. Is that right?
Yes, girl. We started like some
The reason
early
why I say
hour in
that
the
is that's
morning.
probably why you see me.
Oh,
I want if they could start a little later, but I'm just putting it out there. But we may have a few more people, including me. But they do something every month that is phenomenal, and that's the reason I joined the society. I am now part of the New Haven African American Historical Society, and we're looking for more people. There is a rich history in New Haven that people are not even aware of. In fact, let me just say that's why every year I take my sixth graders at Brennan Rogers on what I call the African American Magic School Bus. And the reason is because we have the Freedom Trail right here in New Haven. We have
yes.
20 spots in New Haven. And every year someone says to me, "Oh, why are you doing that? They should know that already." I said, "If they knew it, that's not so. Just because their buildings or standing you doesn't mean that people know what they mean and what they represent." So like when you go past Varick, Booker T. Washington, that's one of the last places he spoke at before he passed.
Oh,
And
now that I did not know, Lensley. I did not know that. Had I known that, I would have talked about that in the talk.
mhm, as well as many times, even Frederick Douglass has been to New Haven.
Yes.
And people don't know Frederick Douglass has also
Yes,
visited.
he
And
spoke at
all
the Institute Library on Chapel Street.
absolutely. And that's why it's so important. I put them on that bus. The kids, they they talk about it for days. Miss Kay, thank you for taking me. And then this year, I'm sorry to digress a little bit, but we went by the schoolhouse on Gulf Street, the old schoolhouse that is
Hmm.
not a Mason building.
Yes.
We passed there and we were standing there looking at it. Ashad, I can't think of his name right now, and I don't want to say it wrong. God is so good. He passed us going by. He said, got stopped the car, got out, and said, "What you guys doing here?" And we said, I'm taking these kids on a tour, and this is one of the places I visit." And he says, "How would you like to go inside?" And we were like, "What?"
Well, that's cool because I've never been in that building.
We went in, we toured the inside. So now those children will always think about how they went inside that building. They just don't think, won't have just the idea it's next to, what is that, the chicken place down there, Popeyes.
Hmm.
Now they know that place, they actually got to walk inside.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. So next Saturday, I believe it's next Saturday, right? African American.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, what is it? This is April. This is April 29th. Oh Lord, I'm a week behind. Tomorrow, good people. I'm sorry. The week has gotten away from me in a way. I thought I had more time. The African American Women's Summit.
On that one. I was like, next Saturday.
No, next Saturday. No, it's tomorrow. Today is Friday.
Tomorrow we want everybody to come out.
We want everybody to come out tomorrow from 9 to 3:45. It is at the Dixwell Community House. It's beautiful. I've not been in there, but everybody who has been there has raved and raved and raved and raved and raved some more about the beauty of this Q house. So the African American Women's Summit is going to be there. The theme this year, the 2022 theme is beyond COVID. Now is the time for healing, rebounding, and reinventing. So get over there tomorrow morning, 197 Dixwell Avenue. There will be collaborative youth workshops, interactive adult workshops, the author's row, vendor marketplace and information tables, and continental breakfast, and a heart healthy lunch.
And that panel discussion, which will be led by Reverend Odell Montgomery Cooper, and that is going to be phenomenal. So it's something for everybody. The entire family will benefit from it. Not only the vendors market, the informational tables, but the whole day is packed with great information and resources. I want people to take away that this year they're going to be able to reinvent themselves starting right here at this summit.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Bennett Bell.
And thank you for, yes, you know what, I almost wore my shirt, but I said I just won't do that today.
You can listen. We have our HBCUs on this show. Yes, I had to get the Bennett Bell in, so because I know I love a Bennett Bell. My daughter's a Bennett Bell, and
absolutely, and I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, yes. So you know, it is good to see you. And I know I'll see you sometime tomorrow.
Yes, you will. That's why it's so interactive. People can come in and go out, but once they come in, they're not going to want to go back out. They're going to want to participate in everything. So thank you so much for your time and having it. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. All right, Harry, have a good weekend. I will see you Monday. I think we have guests. I'll get that to you. Thank you all for a wonderful week. I'll see you out here in these streets. Woo! You can log out, Lensley, if you want to.
Okay.
Go ahead and log out. I don't know. Now, you don't got to hang with me to the end.
I've enjoyed the music.